Awesome.
It's like, parang kable ng ilaw.
Switching to public so that the comments link. What's the stream quality like? I'm gonna take a peek.
There, I see it now.
Oh, it looks great.
Yeah, maybe
Okay.
it's the lighting.
And surprise, the rain? Okay. Well, hello, everyone. If you are watching or not, that would be great. Wait, I should show the logo, but not remove us. Insert theme song here. Don't. To try. Hey,
Yay!
this is us. Yay! Welcome to Baduy Bride. Hi, Mai.
And Kenny.
Oh, Kenny's watching. Okay.
We start to the intro caption.
Opening.
And hey, this is Toby.
And I was about to say this is Toby. And this is Rocky. If it's your first time here, welcome to Baduy Pride, our little space on the internet where we talk about anything we want.
This is completely unscripted and not entirely accurate, but at least it's honest. Join us as we talk about everything and anything random live.
Oh no, then I get the. And if it's not your first time,
Mm-hmm.
it's our third night of doing this.
Yay!
Wow! Thanks for coming back. Okay. In this little thing, as sort of what the pattern is that we're setting now, we're gonna try to stick to 30 minutes to talk about stuff.
We have Tube Guy, who will make an appearance once we hit double digits in terms of viewers.
Yep. And today we're talking about growing up as geeks. And a friend. Oh wow, did the camera? Because like we're like super now. Like
I think the camera moved when you moved the table, when you leaned against it.
okay, yeah, sure. So
See?
no, it's. I guess the wire is pulling it. Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, welcome. And then, so we have Mai so far. We have Kenny. We have and Kenny. It's good that you're here because this is your topic.
Yahoo!
So
Our topic
you
for-
suggest.
Yeah, our topic for this episode is growing up as geeks.
Yay! Mitch says we should have canned sound for an audience. It's okay. We know that you are making all the sounds for us at home. Hooray! Okay. This is a weird topic to structure. We were trying to figure it out again over dinner because dinner is when we brainstorm the episode for the day. Oh, and then we're like, you can't see mine. You can see we're in matching Spock shirts. Thank you. Previous. I see stream
Error
thing.
loading. To the others viewing, are you still able to view the stream?
Yeah, are you still seeing the camera? Because Toby's version of it kind of bonked out.
Okay.
We'll wait. We're waiting for you to catch up in time, but it looks like it's showing.
It looks
okay,
like it's
okay. All right, cool. That's real time troubleshooting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so what are we starting with?
So, earliest geek memory.
That's tricky, That's tricky. Okay, Toby, what's yours?
Well, first we have to define geek. Only because there might be viewers.
That's my complexity with this. Okay.
Yeah, but there might be viewers who might think we're talking about how we used to tear off chicken heads with our teeth.
Wow, that's a deep cut. That's a rather obscure.
But it is
reference.
a meaning of
There
the
is
word
valid.
geek.
Oh, see, Kenny is like having better stuff on the live. On the
Hey,
YouTube
David. Thanks for watching too. And yes, it froze for a while. So yeah, geeks. What would be your definition of geek?
Okay, geek is about being passionate about something. Okay, and which sounds like a very generic, a very generic definition.
Showing
And
so much of
because there's always the sort of trinity of there are nerds, there are geeks,
that.
there are dorks.
Mhm.
The joke being that nerds distinguish from geeks, and then only dorks care about the difference or something like that.
Mhm.
So, but nerds is always more about being intellectually smart, being bookish,
Yes.
being into school stuff
Yes.
and academics.
Mhm.
And then being geeky is being passionate about something. That's why it's normally about pop culture, fandoms, shows you like, movies you like, franchises, and stuff.
And then being a dork is being either of the two, but also socially inept.
Supposedly, because there are still social skills to being geeky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why anybody is a geek about something. You can be a K-drama geek these days, a BL geek. You can be a telenovela geek, whatever. So you can be geeking about anything. So it's hard to say if you're really geeky about something early on. So then, okay, Toby, now that we've defined, we didn't have a capture for definitions. What is your definition? What is your first? Wow, every time I hit the table, it moves a bit. Okay.
Yeah, it's a loose table. See? Oh!
Computer!
And that was a geeky moment.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So,
I guess my earliest memories in terms of what I really recall would be during my childhood, I was very, very into two specific toys. The first would be Lego. Lego was like our go-to toy when we were young. Despite playing G.I. Joe, He-Man, and all those other toy lines, it was Lego that had that spark of coming up with something, building stuff, and the pain of tearing it down afterwards because you had to store it.
I don't understand this pain. But okay.
So for us, we would like build, literally a city filling up the room. And then at the end of the day, mom would be like, okay, that's enough. So we break it all apart and put it back in the box, which led to our first homemade game, which my brother and I used to do. We called it Crash Wars.
And that sounds bad.
So we build cars and then we crash them into each other. And whoever's pilot was the last to fly off wins.
It sounds exactly as I imagined it.
And it went far. I mean, it reached a point we started to combine stuff from Technic. So we'd have wheels as shock absorbers. We'd have safety nets and the like.
Okay.
It reached a point that we were smashing things together and they were not breaking apart.
Okay. Wow. Good job.
So yeah. The other one was, and some of you might know this, Play-Doh.
Make it sound so obscure. Play-Doh is not obscure.
Well, it is for some of the younger.
Okay,
viewers.
fine. No, but Play-Doh still exists. It's still a thing. Okay.
Oh, and I realized I did not set a timer.
Oh, well, 9:30.
Yeah. So Play-Doh was the other one. Only because I really wanted to play more with the Ghostbuster toy line with the ooze and the slime from, I think it was He-Man that had slime as well. No, not He-Man.
Well, Snake Mountain had
Ninja
slime, right?
Turtles had
But Ninja Turtle had ooze. Ghostbusters had slime.
I loved playing with those. Friends didn't, but they loved Play-Doh, so I had to shift to Play-Doh.
Let's then show Toby with a He-Man toy.
Mm-hmm.
The Twink.
So yeah, that's me and my brother, and I'm not sure. I think that's Twink, one of our cousins who's in the States now.
That is a great name.
Twinkle actually was her full name.
But yeah, it's a tack trap.
Yep.
And look at the spelling. It's ATTAK because we're committed to this. It's like mask with a K,
And of course, if you'll notice my expression there, I'm.
What is this?
Yeah.
Well, which is cool. It's a thing. Play-Doh's This Generation Slime, says Kenny over on YouTube.
Yeah, you can show the comment.
It's like, really? Really?
Mitch has early days of Robot Warriors.
Isn't there still slime? Early days ng Robot Warriors. Oh, what's Robot Warriors? Like Shogun Warriors?
I guess, yeah.
Like Robot Wars. Okay, no, your Crash game.
Yeah.
Okay, because the comments are slightly delayed. You're in the past. Okay, so we got to come back to the present. My earliest geeky memories. It's tricky. Because I have very vivid memories of when we first arrived in the U.S. The night we arrived, and I was like 2 or 3. My mom gave me a small Lego set, and it was a space dude, a single space dude, and it was the very first thing I assembled. And I was I was on Manila time in LA, and I worked on it in the middle of the night. That was cool, but did not actually collect Lego until much later when we were back in the Philippines. I don't remember my first Transformer,
And
but
Lego was expensive.
super, especially when you get back to Manila.
Mhm.
And then
You don't remember your first Transformer?
I don't remember my first Transformer, but I do know my most important or one of the most vivid ones, which is this one. So this is Wheelie,
I'll hold you close.
featured from the 1986 movie. It is the actual same Wheelie I had as a kid. There was an infamous story in the family of me waking up one morning, crying unconsolably, and then complaining that I didn't have Wheelie, and people were not sure what I was trying to say.
Mhm.
I worried. I don't know if people can hear us because Toby's trying to watch it on his iPad, but it's not working.
Yeah, but it's also could be because we're streaming at the same time.
Yes, so it's hard to track. So please,
whoever's viewing,
leave comment so that we know you're there. Okay.
Cover the other hand.
Oh,
like
you're supposed to do like this, like this. It's a there. Okay. So, but the original Wheelie. So, my Transformer journey started in the US. If anything, that's the first franchise I ever super got into. Asking parents for toys, and I got a lot of Transformers. Not many of them survived the trip from the US to the Philippines, and then it hasn't stopped, obviously. But, but I've now that I can afford to, I continue to collect rapidly. I have not. I will never try to complete the original G1 toys because those are super expensive. But I collect all the G1 reminiscent toys. Transformers has a line called Transformers Generations, which is all about
the old looks,
getting money from old collectors. And I gladly give all my money to them, and that's why there are these giant robots all over the house. So that's that's my earliest Geeks memory. Okay, cool. I didn't show a picture. You haven't earned it. Okay, so
and those not yet.
I don't know how to get to this. But let's
you can show this now.
no, but let's look at our. You want to talk about parental influence because then I can talk about stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. So our
parental influence.
Yeah. So of course
people are saying the YouTube stream is so much better.
We can't talk about. Okay, I'll try looting it. We can't talk about how we got started into the geek stuff we love without, of course, considering how our parents were instrumental in doing it. My parents were always super supportive of how much my brother and I were into a lot of stuff. In many ways, it was also because whenever they'd buy stuff for my brother, they'd make sure they bought stuff for me. And what I remember, as a diverging point, because it was always we get He-Man, so there's two types of He-Man. We get G.I. Joe, so there's two types of G.I. Joe. But it's always the same game. Until at one point, my brother got a die-cast metal Robotech Veritech.
Wow.
But then for me,
Jetfire.
But then for me, it was this strange unknown robot, which I still found as awesome. And
just
I only
didn't know
learned
what it was. Yeah.
many years later that it was this toy line or this brand called Orgus, which is a not too familiar brand, but it was this roundish with a helmet, green looking robot, and it was still awesome. And it had these weird crab claw like legs. So I remember just finding myself astounded with that. And my parents were also very much into the arts.
The camera again.
They always found ways to make sure that our summers were filled with art and sports. Everything from doing theater with our titas, with our aunts, to attending sports fests and the like. We had so much toys because they always wanted to make sure we were, one of the first in the street with the toys. Which is why I feel so bad we weren't able to save many of them. And partly that's my fault because I used to love playing in construction sites.
He buries toys.
And
he used to bury. Sorry, prepositional dilemma there. Whoa, lightning! Okay.
And there was that instance wherein there was a house under construction. I went there. I built this home base in the sand and hid the toys. And the next morning when I came back, the construction was gone and the house was built. So yeah.
Wow. There. Oh, so then I see that my comments to YouTube are not showing up. So sorry about that. I've been trying to type comments in the restream chat and nothing's showing up. There is a separate restream chat where I think you can all interact together. I may experiment with it another time, as long as it's free.
So your parental.
My parental support is super awesome, only because, well, obviously I got toys. That's cool. Toys, though, were always a reward. Like, you have to do well in school,
Mhm.
then you can get a toy. So pick a toy, which is one word. Pick a toy. Then you could, so like I'd have to have good grades every quarter in school in the hopes of getting something.
Mhm.
So that's always the option. But there was always pick a book. So mom's an avid reader, and then whenever we go to National Bookstore, regardless of what time of the year it was, so it doesn't have to be school based or it's not a reward. There's always pick a book. You can always pick one book,
Mhm.
and the dilemma was always choosing one. So super got us into reading, and that was a really big thing.
Yeah, that was the doorway to a lot of your fandoms.
Yes. So like, I mean, I became a Trekkie first before I got into Star Wars. I'll get into that, and then because my father was a big Trekkie, and so I got into Star Trek also because parents always said I was smart, and always said that that when you are smart in school, you are a nerd, and when you are a nerd, you get into Star Trek. That was my logical progression. But then it's things like, so like pick a book result, like, okay, this is my very first BattleTech novel, which I got into because of the video game that I played with my uncle. Although I didn't like really like fight on my own, I was co-pilot. So I did all the keyboard controls, he did the joystick. But this is literally the same one. That's why it's like super beat up. And then I got into the series. This is my second copy of Star Wars X-Wing Rogue Squadron. First Star Wars book that I ever got. Eventually, I got into Dune. This is my second or third copy of Dune. Toby, why are you commenting in
Oh,
this stream?
because Mai mentioned that her brother used to bury the die-cast Waltus 5.
Yeah. I was playing with Waltus 5 before I knew it was diecast Waltus 5 because of my uncle had. So this is like I have had multiple copies of Dune, which is a super important franchise to me, which I first read in the 4th grade and have been rereading periodically ever since. But in terms of parental support, and then the camera moved a bit again, I think. Star Trek's a big thing. This is super awesome because this is I wasn't expecting a gift from my mom on Valentine's Day, and it has a dedication. But I will read it because it's so weird, but it will capture my childhood. To my dearest son, quote, technologically impossible, you say of Star Wars. Hope this makes Star Trek possible. I love you and proud of you. Happy Valentine's Day. So she got me a Physics of Star Trek book, which was great because it super explained a lot of the concepts where I learned about Einstein wormholes and whatnot. And the whole technologically impossible thing was because I attended a talk by Jessica Zafra on Star Wars and the archetype of the hero. And stupid know-it-all grade school kid said that so what do you think about Star Wars? And I said technologically impossible. And it was obviously a literary forum to talk about story structure. I said something stupid like that. So good job me. I was a nerd at that point. So yeah, so that but parents super support. And yeah, okay.
Now geekdom, of course, when you realize you're a geek and you're enjoying all your fandoms, that doesn't just stay at home. That eventually also stretches out to other things.
I'm not gonna share it yet. Okay, go. So we're gonna talk about what's our other one? Social
challenges.
Okay. How to start? I will gank myself first, and here's me in the 3rd grade for doing a magic show for my class. Because why did I do a magic show? Because I told my mom I was into magic, and for pick a book, I bought several Osborne books on magic. And if you know the Osborne book series, those are like the super expensive UK books, glossy print. They had guides on being a spy, guides on being a detective.
So invisible ink and stuff like that.
No, yeah, how to do it like on your own. But it's like, there weren't kits. They were just books because I just had books. So I did a magic show. I did two shows. One for my grandmother's birthday, and one for that Christmas party in school.
Hmm.
I don't know why I thought I would be a magician, so that didn't work out. But I did not care. So in terms of school, I never had issues. A friend, a work colleague, and
Hmm.
also friend asked, like, "Were you bullied ever for being a geek or a nerd?" And like, no, because I was a teacher's pet.
Hmm.
And I was like super close to the teacher every time, and they knew that if you mess with me, I will tell the teacher. I was that kid. Very annoying.
Interestingly, the stream and the iPad is jumping, stuttering.
Well, people are saying that the
Could be the rain.
YouTube one is a lot steadier.
Yeah.
Okay, and how about you?
So I experienced some bullying during my years in Don Bosco for being a geek. Um, my first taste of role playing games had an angle that we considered bullying in the sense that
We'll probably cover that in detail in
The-
another show.
the older kids were playing and I wanted to join, and they have let me play my first experience by making sure I die. But it definitely sparked my imagination and got me realizing games can be that awesome. Um, there were there was a lot of infighting in the sense that my cousins and neighbors would sometimes harass me or my brother, not necessarily in a bad way, but in terms of because we'd have the toys and they'd have the better toys, and to be that sort of a cycle.
Okay.
And school wise, coming from an all boys school, which is the Moscow Makati, there was a lot of instances of being the outsider. I had higher level kids throwing stuff at me from the upper floor because there's the kid with the books again, and me being me, I chase after them down the hallway and fight. So eventually, I, like you, learned to insinuate myself with the teachers. I got into the school publication, became the editor, and this and that, and that kind of shut them up.
I never had these issues. I super never had these issues, and I didn't. And I don't know. And I think people always knew that I was super into stuff very passionately, like how many kids in the second grade would play Sky Commanders as a game, which is a now obscure 80s cartoon, which consisted of people traveling a mountainous terrain on wires.
Mhm.
And therefore, playing the game in the playground is imagining you are hanging from a wire and running really fast across the thing.
Zip line.
Yes. And I was the type, I would read at my desk during lunch,
Mhm.
especially as I super got into novels, and I would read at my desk. So that's I don't know, I didn't care. And then I was that grade school kid who always became class president for a while. And then high school, different officers, but I was getting tired of being president.
Mhm.
So,
And then
yeah,
even in
it never got in the way.
even in the older years, dating was hard if you don't find a geek.
Okay, yeah. Well,
Um,
we fast forward to that.
Yeah, but just to show that the societal challenges weren't just in childhood.
Yeah. I mean, like because I don't know many people who are as passionate as I am about 80s cartoons
Mhm.
or the Transformers and stuff, and I don't always have people to talk to about that.
And there's that ironic aspect of like for example in the gay community, um, you'll have people saying, I like him because he's geeky, and the only thing that makes him geeky is his wearing glasses.
We've been over this so many times.
But at the same time, you have people who are going crazy over the Miss Universe, and they don't realize that that's their geekdom.
yes, you are
That's
Miss
their
Universe
fandom.
geeks. If the
So
people who can cite who won what in what year, what the hell?
wearing what dress?
What dress?
Walking
I
with
don't
what
know this
signature
stuff.
move?
Which
And-
is
and then-
great for you.
And then they would then look at people like us and go, ugh, geeks.
Yeah. So there's like a weird societal stigma, and admittedly, for a lot of times, in my early adulthood, my geekery was something that was just for me. That
Mhm.
I would keep private and set up on my own, and my people who are involved with appreciated it, but we're not necessarily super deep into it, or at least we didn't have too many intersections. I think that's a big thing why Toby and I super worked when we first met each other to be friends. Was that we
Officially, to be
understood each other's
friends.
references. To be fair, it's not like Toby wasn't super into the Transformers as I am, and still isn't, and he wasn't into Star Trek or Dune. So it wasn't about having the same interests,
Yes.
but being appreciative of how passionate we were about our respective interests, and then kind of intermingling. Like, hence, board games became a shared thing.
And finding ways to support each other in their passion
Yes.
for the interest.
Yes.
I mean, you don't exactly. I don't think you'll ever see me wanting to start my own Transformers collection. But I know I found
that would save me money.
I know. No, it won't, because you'll insist you'll have your own.
No. I wouldn't mind. You could
The
optimize.
way I keep things.
No, I would just handle the keeping. So you can buy your own Transformers,
But
I will just maintain them.
But as I was saying, it has also led now me to finding ways to have Transformer-like stuff in some of the games I wrote, because I wanted to connect or share the passion, or even trying to write the setting for a game which got inspiration from Dune.
Yes.
So yeah,
which is cool.
We are nearing 30 minutes, so
Yeah,
we have
without timer.
we have to reach our wrap up soon.
What else do we want to say about this?
I guess geekery, stuff about being a geek or geeky in general.
Geekery is passion. Geekery is loving something and wanting to share that love with other people. And it's nice to find like-minded people who share that love. And I do miss the larger geeky community kind of gatherings where you have a bunch of people who are super into Lost and super into this and that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still sort of around, but then I don't know. We don't talk about it as much. Like they're now Facebook groups. They used to be Yahoo groups, but now I think mostly Facebook groups sort of capture that analogy. But I only can tolerate people for so long. So like, they get really noisy.
I also don't like when the idea of geekery has to be tied to the concept of rivalry. I mean,
that's true.
Why should one be better than the other? Why should one be the one true blank or the only way to really love blank?
Yeah.
Why can't we just...
I do appreciate how for example, local love for Star Wars and Star Trek has never felt antagonistic to one another. And in many cases, the people who love Star Wars also love Star Trek and are members of both groups, which is fine, So I don't know why that's in the US it's a bit more antagonistic of one another. So we're all geeks, we all love stuff, and and I think in the people are mentioning New Worlds Alliance. We all miss New Worlds Alliance to some degree, but miss anyway. But what was great about it was you like Battlestar Galactica, you can join the group. You also like Star Trek, you're also in that group, and you like Star Wars.
During the events, there would be little spots for each different little world that you want to celebrate.
Yeah, and we would have people who would be changing costumes throughout the day to show their love for all the different fandoms that they were part of. So, and I bring that up. We go back to geekery is passion and celebration, and so maybe. More of you were actually geeks in your own way, and you didn't realize it. Maybe you were an NBA geek, and you're super into sports, and you know the stats.
Yes.
Great on you. Then that's your geekery. That's your fandom. All these things. So maybe we all grew up geeky. You just don't realize it.
Or maybe the term geeky has evolved to now encompass so much more. I mean, a large part of the term was because we were the outsiders. You had the normal people, and look, they're the geeks.
As separate.
But now with everyone fanning over popular culture in such a way, we're all suddenly so geeky.
It's the internet. Ultimately, the internet has opened the doors for people to celebrate so many things. Because now information is so accessible.
Yes.
You can Wikipedia it. You can create your own wiki for it. I am editing custom wikis.
And you can even make your own spin on it, which eventually might become a new fandom.
Twilight. And what's that? Twilight is
The Expanse started as a game.
Yeah. No, but isn't it like, what was it? Twilight is actually fanfic of something else, right? Something like that.
Yeah. I will leave it at that.
Forget. Okay, fine.
No, sorry. 50 Shades.
Oh, sorry.
was
Yes,
fanfic of
50
Twilight.
Shades of Grey is Twilight fanfic
Yes.
that went in a whole new direction.
So with that is 30 minutes. So you better show that
We're-
screen.
We're queuing the outro. Wait. Okay.
So yeah, that's 30 minutes, and we've had a lot of fun. We hope that you will join us next time.
I gotta do the captions. Wait. So, of course, if you have questions or suggestions for topics in the future, then you can submit in the form. You can leave comments on the video wherever you are watching. I will take the time to document, and this will also help us determine. I will also mention who made the suggestion. So, like today's
Mhm.
topic was suggested by Kenny. Thanks so much for the topic. Follow us on social. I give Twitter because it's the easiest one to
Yeah.
cite. So all Toby, no shade on Twitter, but he may not read your messages. RG Sunico is currently private, but you can message me and I will eventually add you. Or just look for RG Sunico on most social platforms. I am on Instagram. I am even on Curious Cat still.
Makoy has a pahabol. Toby's alam na meme fandom.
Oh wow, does Toby's image have its own following? That is a question. Wait, we can pull that up before we go.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Okay,
keep a
so
I keep a copy saved for posterity.
I will admit that I'm sad we did not have Tube Guy this episode. But
Yeah, it was hard to monitor stream traffic. But yeah, we didn't quite get there.
and it's a Friday night. It's really hard to expect. people
Why
on
are
Friday
people out on a Friday night?
night. So yeah, there.
Toby's meme.
Special thanks to.
Office mate, diba?
No, wasn't it John Yang?
I don't remember.
I'll have to double check, but I think it was John Yang who made that.
Okay. Yep. But yeah, so follow us on social and then go back to the script.
So yeah, be sure
Um,
to subscribe for notifications, whether on Facebook or YouTube, so you don't miss our next live stream.
Even though we only announce them in the afternoon before they happen. Once again, I'm Rocky.
And I'm Toby.
This
And
is Baduy Pride. And now we awkwardly have to end the stream. Bye, people.
And
Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Glimpses of Polar Joke.
Oh my god. Oh, and then there were last comments I didn't catch. But hey, we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.